We ready, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. We'll go ahead and call this regular meeting of the East Peoria City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Decker.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Mingus.
Here.
Sutherland.
Here.
Mayor Call.
Here.
All present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the pledge.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and every day that you give us. Lord, we seek your guidance at times of decision making. Please help us to discern your voice and follow your lead. May your Holy Spirit serve as an unwavering guide, shining light on the path you have set for us. Show us the right path, O Lord. Point out the road for us to follow. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the minutes of the regular meeting held on April 15, 2025 be approved as printed.
I have a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Mingus.
Aye.
Sutherland.
Aye.
Mayor Call.
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried. Okay, under communications, I have a lot of reading to do here. I have 5 proclamations this evening, and I will begin with the first one. Whereas the City of East Peoria is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike. And whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our own community is achieved through the devotion of building safety and fire prevention officials, engineers, builders, tradespeople, laborers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas modern building codes and standards include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as snowstorms, tornadoes, fires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And whereas Game On, the theme for Building Safety Month 2025, our residents are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, sustainability, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to us all by local and state building departments in protecting lives and property. And now, therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, do hereby proclaim this month of May 2025 as Building Safety Month. So with that, I'll pass this along to Ty. I don't believe we have anyone from code enforcement or buildings here tonight, but we appreciate the work they do. All right, second proclamation. Whereas on Peace Officers Memorial Day and during Police Week, we commend the brave men and women of our law enforcement community for continually summoning the courage to fulfill their solemn oath to protect and serve. And whereas throughout our nation's history, law enforcement officials never waver in the face of crisis or tragedy, and even during uncertain times, law enforcement officials bravely face challenges and continue to protect, steadfast ensuring the safety of the community of East Peoria. And whereas these brave men and women must operate in an environment where their moral and legal authority is constantly being scrutinized, and they undertake the critical yet difficult task of addressing the actions of those affected by addiction, homelessness, and mental illness. Their ability to work well in the face of these and other challenges is extraordinary. And whereas they provide a much-needed sense of security to our citizens, and we must continue to respect and understand the important work that they do and have incredible appreciation for their public service and selflessness. And whereas on behalf of the grateful people of East Peoria, we proudly recognize the more than 800,000 sworn officers in the United States of America for their resolve and dedication in the face of dangerous uncertainty. And now, therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby recognize and proclaim May 15th, 2025 as Peace Officers Memorial Day and May 11th through the 17th as Police Week, and call upon all citizens to recognize the contributions that our law enforcement officers make to our community. So I don't believe we have anyone representing the police department, but we appreciate what they do. And we'll have a public announcement out. We will have a police memorial service a week from this coming Thursday. So we'll put more out publicly. All right, third proclamation. I'm going to jump ahead here because we do have some folks in the audience I'd like to recognize. Whereas emergency medical services are a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas emergency medical services have grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventive maintenance, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical service teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. And now, therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby proclaim May 18th through the 24th, 2025 as Emergency Medical Services Week. We care for everyone. And call upon the community to observe the 51st anniversary of EMS Week by showing appreciation for the men and women who dedicate their lives to ensure our safety, health, and well-being. And we have three of our finest here with us this evening. So, Commissioner, do you want to make any comments, and then we'll go down and present this to those folks?
Just want to thank our fire department. I've said since the moment I've been elected to this position that we've got the best fire department in the area, best fire department in the state. I'll continue to say it. So I appreciate what all of them do, and the citizens of East Peoria are lucky to have them.
Well said. Commissioner Decker, I know you're just biting at the bit. Go ahead.
No, you know, I've worked with these guys for a long time, and they do a tremendous job. It's nice to see them in the audience tonight. And Commissioner's correct. I'm a fire chief in a different community now, but the versatility and the range of services that the East Peoria Fire Department provide is exceptional.
With that, if you guys don't mind stepping up to the podium, Commissioner will present you the proclamation. But we sure do appreciate all that you do. For those that may not know, East Peoria is unique, and not just that we have a full-time fire department, but these individuals are ALS certified paramedics. And we see what they do day in and day out, saving lives. And if you've not been personally affected by them, someday you might, and you will greatly appreciate what they do for us every day. But thank you, guys. Hats off.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. Okay, two more proclamations. Whereas for millions of Americans, boating continues to be a popular recreational activity. From coast to coast, people take to the water and enjoy time together boating, sailing, paddling, and fishing. And whereas safe boating begins with preparation, and the United States Coast Guard estimates that human error accounts for most boating accidents, and that life jackets could prevent nearly 75% of boating fatalities. As on average, 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the United States. 75% of these fatalities are caused by drowning. And whereas a significant number of boaters who lose their lives by drowning each year would be alive today had they worn their life jackets. And whereas through basic boating safety procedures, such as carrying life-saving emergency distress and communication equipment, wearing life jackets, participating in free boating safety checks, and staying sober when navigating, we can help ensure boaters stay safe throughout the season. And whereas National Boating Safety Week is observed to bring attention to important life-saving tips for recreational boaters so that they can have a safer and more fun experience out on the water throughout the year. And now, therefore, I, John P. Call, do hereby support the goals of the Safe Boating Campaign and proclaim May 17th through 2024, May 17th through the 24th of 2025 as National Safe Boating Week, and urge those who boat in our community to practice safe boating habits and wear a life jacket at all times while boating. So we feel like this is a very important proclamation to read every year. You know, the city owns Eastport Marina, and Mike Johnson and the park police, they were just out on the river this past Sunday saving 2 lives of a boat that had overturned. So we feel it's very important to raise this awareness every year. And we are kicking off boating season. People are dropping their boats in the water today, so please heed to that solid advice. Last proclamation. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of East Peoria. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in East Peoria to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest in understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. And now, therefore, I, John P. Call, Mayor of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2025, as National Public Works Week. People, purpose, presence. And call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and our quality of life. And is what's interesting about this is we have 2 commissioners representing the Public Works Department, Commissioner Decker and Commissioner Sutherland. And when our youngest kids, they're not kids, they're teenagers, they're seniors now, when they were young, maybe in 5th grade, Public Works at that time used to bring in classrooms and kind of give them an education on where we source our water and how we treat it and deliver it to their homes. So I think often people tend to forget the things they don't see every day, but we appreciate what they do every day. And commissioners, anything you guys want to add?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. It's kind of a theme tonight. Police Department, Fire Department, Public Works, and I think many times Public Works is the one that's overlooked because it's just not talked about as much. But I would challenge anyone to go on with your normal daily life without those from Public Works. They do a tremendous job, especially here in East Peoria. It's talked about every year around the bad snowfall times that East Peoria plow drivers are exceptional. The hills that we have in town provide a hazard that most communities don't have to deal with. They do a tremendous job day in, day out. Our water department, sewer department just do a fantastic job, and I hope that everybody joins with me in recognizing them.
Very good, thank you. Anything, Commissioner, you'd like to add?
Yeah, I just want to say that I think we got a good group of guys in sewer and water department taking care of things. Knock on wood, we haven't had any, yeah, enough said.
Okay, very good, sir. Thank you. All right, public comments. Anyone in the public wish to comment on an agenda item, please step forward. And I'm seeing none. Very good. Commissioner Hill, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a consent agenda consisting of items numbered 1 through 6. Item number 1, adoption of resolution number 2526-010. Resolution to approve payment of scheduled bills listed on schedule number 24 in the amount of $2,226,774.01. Item number 2, adoption of resolution number 2425-141 on its second reading. Resolution approving lowest responsible bid for construction of Phase 3 of the Levy Park development in the Civic Plaza. Item number 3, adoption of resolution number 2425-142 on its second reading. Resolution to approve the salaries, wages, and employee benefits for certain non-union employees of the City of East Peoria for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2025, and ending April 30th, 2026. Item number 4, adoption of ordinance number 4853 on its second reading, and ordinance amending and reissuing the City of East Peoria Personnel Policy Manual. Item number 5, adoption of resolution number 2425-136 on its second reading, resolution regarding revisions and updates to the city's group health insurance plan. Item number 6, adoption of resolution number 2425-140 on second reading, resolution accepting and approving the proposal from Hart Technologies, Inc. for the city IT network switch upgrade project as listed on the agenda for this meeting to be considered by omnibus vote.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Commissioner,
Roll call, sorry.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that items numbered 1 through 6 listed on the consent agenda be hereby approved and adopted, and the items numbered 2 through 6 having been read once by their title and having laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Your Honor, I have several items tonight. Whereas a vacancy exists on the East Peoria Planning Commission Board as a result of member Richard Dick Crittlebaugh retiring, and whereas the Honorable Mayor John P. Call has recommended the appointment of Gene Flederer to fill the vacancy of the East Peoria Planning Commission Board, and whereas it is in the best interest of the City of East Peoria to confirm and approve such an appointment, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that by the appointment by Mayor John P. Call of Gene Flederer to the East Peoria Planning Commission Board to fill the vacancy of such board for a term ending April 30th, 2028, be hereby confirmed and approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that resolution number 2526-004 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Okay, this one's pretty straightforward. Mr. Crittlebaugh, we recognized him, I believe it was at our last meeting, retiring after many, many years of service. And Gene Flederer has been recommended by the mayor to fill that vacancy on the Planning Commission. Now, Gene has been part of the Riverfront Trail and a few other things, the Joint Review Board for our TIF districts, which we have on an annual basis, as well as he's been part of the Comprehensive Planning Steering Committee. So we welcome, or hope to welcome, Gene to the board and look for many years of service.
We will welcome him to the board. So he's provided many contributions. He's in the audience tonight. We appreciate you stepping up. We did recognize Dick. Dick served on that planning commission under 8 mayors for many, many years. So appreciate all his contributions, but we're excited and we appreciate your willingness to step up to the plate. With that, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried. Thank you, Gene.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4854, here to attach an ordinance authorizing a special use for a vehicle repair shop on property located at 3210 East Washington Street in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Mr. Doug Perdue, who's in the audience with us tonight, has come in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals asking for special use to allow vehicle repair. And if you're familiar, if you start to go up the grade on Route 8 or East Washington Street, just as you get to the top, the property is there on the right side. So the petitioner supplied a site plan showing where the cars are going to be, the landscaping plan as well. So the zoning board voted 6-0 to recommend approval based on the submitted site and landscaping plan without any additional requirements. And so we have that in front of us tonight. So it was 6-0 from the zoning board recommending approval.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4855 here to attach an ordinance changing the zoning classification of certain real property located on Quiet Creek Road in the city of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
This property is a little harder to describe. It's comes off of Main Street, and it's a frontage road. But currently, I don't know if there's a classic car location down at the base, but as you drive up the slope a little bit, this particular property is at the end. And the ask in this particular case is to change the zoning from R3 to R4 to facilitate the development of this property. Now, the thing that is, I say keep in mind, one of the things that qualifies this property is not only its size, but the proximity to another R4 that's right adjacent to it. So at this point, we have not, and I looked at Ty, we have not received plans, it's just the interest in developing this property.
So the owner has interest in continuing the townhome development. I think he's, still kind of working on those plans, but there is a townhome development there at the top of the hill and would look to extend that. But when we look at rezoning, it's looking at everything that could go in that area, but it does have sufficient size. It has a pretty good screening from most adjacent properties. There is a single-family residentialist next door, and they were at the hearing. Want to make sure that as we look at the development, we look at things like traffic generation and that sort of thing, and that will be something that will be looked at as a part of that review when the proposed project comes forward.
Very good. Any discussion?
The single family, they weren't in strong opposition.
I think it's concern about changes, that
Sure.
you have right now. You have a valley that's undeveloped, and so that was kind of the basic concern would be about traffic and accessing the property. It shares a driveway. The single-family house shares the same driveway with the townhomes that are up there already, and so access to this area would also be achieved through that shared drive.
Very good. Any other discussion?
Yeah, on Main Street is the collision, the automotive collision company.
Yeah.
And then halfway up the hill on the right was the classic car place that Jack Baker owned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a good view from up there too, yeah. It's a nice piece of property.
Very good. Any other discussion? We can't allow you guys to come up. That's the public comments at the beginning on agenda items, so this is the time for the council to discuss that, and then we'll take a roll call. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4856 here to attach an ordinance approving a third amendment to the East Peoria Levy Overlay District be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second?
I'm sorry to break this.
Second.
I did not
Sir?
realize the agenda, but I am the single family that you were just talking about, and I
Okay.
do have significant objection to this.
Okay, here's what I'll allow you to do. We've already cast the roll call, okay? You're welcome to come up at the tail end. We have another public comment portion at the end of the meeting,
Okay.
okay?
I'll second the commissioners.
Okay.
Did you capture that, Madam Clerk? Okay.
So what we have, the overlay district, many people may not be familiar with it, and I'll let Ty speak to maybe more in detail, is again, we have this overlay district that we've used. It was defined, it's been revised, and again, I think what I just read the Third Amendment, but it guides the development here in the levy district area. Everything from, I would call look and feel and what's allowed and what's disallowed in this area. And so in this particular case, there was also an update in this particular one related to property behind us that we may or may not be developing in coming years. But I'll turn it over to Ty for a little bit more detail of the overlay district changes.
Sure, there are really two major changes. One has to do with anticipating future development for Center Street Crossing. As we look at that development and the mixed-use component of it, there are changes here that anticipate that kind of outdoor atmosphere. And then the other piece is looking at prohibited uses, that auto-oriented uses have been prohibited but in the past, but we looked at some additional listings. So you can think of things like smoke shops, cannabis dispensaries, light industrial, warehousing type uses. These are things that would not really be complementary to the levy district, and so this just kind of takes them off the table right off the bat. So those are the two major changes being proposed here.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that ordinance number 4857 here to attach an ordinance amending the subdivision regulations in Title VI of the East Peoria City Code to address small subdivisions of land be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
One of the things that you notice, or I emphasize there, the small subdivisions, and so the code changes here come as a result of actually one of our employees that's experienced in platting and surveying property, and it just really makes it more efficient and effective for handling. The requirements are changed, and I would say lessened a little bit to some degree for properties that are being subdivided or platted with under 4 and under. So, Ty, I'm going to again turn it to you for additional details.
Yeah, largely housekeeping issues, but looking at streamlining that process. We had kind of older language in there that asked for a lot of plats to be submitted in hard copy format. We don't need nearly as many, encouraging the electronic format, but trying to streamline that process and also clarifying some of the signature blocks on the plats. We get kind of a variety of things. The mayor is our plat officer, so we wanted to clarify some of those issues too, but I would say 95% of the plats that come through the city are coming through in this 4 or fewer lots process. So Brad's been here for a few years, Brad Brewer, and certainly has some good background in surveying, and so he proposed some language to clean up and presented that in front of the Planning Commission for their review and concurrence.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-002 here to attach, resolution approving proposal to refurbish city bells for Archway Monument for the Levy Park development in the Civic Plaza be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-002 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and be laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Mingus?
Well, there were a lot of people asking about the bells that used to be at the corner of the Four Corners. And when that bell tower, actually, they didn't work for the longest time. When that bell tower was disassembled, the bells were actually saved. And the mayor showed in the State of the City, I believe, address, an artist rendition on the chosen design to reincorporate those bells into an archway that's at the beginning, that will be at the beginning of the park out here. So the item we have in front of us today is that to refurbish those bells, Verdun Bells and Clocks specializes in that work, and we have a proposal for $34,999 to do that and make those bells again workable, and they will be incorporated into the design that was shared for the big front of our park.
And this company that we'll be sending them off to, they're already palletized and ready to go. They've been around since 1840 something or another, but this is what they specialize in, and these will be functioning bells. They will actually be working again, so it's pretty cool. We're pretty excited about that. So, any other discussion?
I'm happy to hear it, Mayor. I think that so much history over the years in East Peoria has, for some for good reason, been torn down or lost. It's nice when we can hold on to anything that we can refurbish.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Aye.
Mingus? Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Whereas Serenity Valley Healthcare LLC, the owner of the property located at 4000 North Main Street, East Peoria, with the following parcel number, 01-01-14-201-014, the property, filed a complaint with the Tazewell County Board of Review. The Board of Review, for the purpose of challenging the assessed value assigned to the property for the tax year 2024. And whereas the owner of the property has appealed the decision of the Board of Review of the Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board, PTAB, docket number 2024-00241, and whereas it is in the best interest of the city to intervene in the proceedings related to the property currently pending before PTAB. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that the city attorney is hereby authorized and directed to petition for leave to intervene in the proceedings involving the assessment of the property, which proceedings are identified by the following case number currently pending before the Illinois Property Tax Appeal Board, 2024-00241, 01-01-14-201-014. Mr. Mayor, I move you that resolution number 2526-0008 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
This is a formal proceeding required, the resolution's required for, as the wording specified, for our city attorney to act on behalf of our city in the anytime an assessed value. And the details here that originally the assessed value was $2,716,000, which equates to about a little over $8.1 million market value. So they appealed it, or they actually adjusted it. The Tazewell County Board of Review adjusted it down to $22,500,000, which then says the value is $7,500,000. The property owner then appealed that onto the PTAB, and so that's where we're at. They're asking for a much lower assessment, down to as low as $1.320 million value. So this is a required step so that we can, in the best interest of our city and our citizens, protect the values and work through this with the PTAB and our city attorney.
Very good. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to throw something out there. This is the place on the access road on Caterpillar Trail that had to put their own street in and pay for it themselves because we didn't have enough money to keep up with the state access roads that were given to us back in the late 60s and early 70s because the state didn't want to keep upkeep on them. Is that part of what they're saying, is that they're paying so much money in taxes and they had to pay for their own road?
No, the
No.
roadway has nothing to do with their,
It'd be you appealing your property taxes on your property.
Yeah, but if you're not getting your money's worth out of property taxes, that would be when you would appeal.
Everybody has the right to appeal.
Yeah, but I just want to say that this is a mistake the city made by taking on those access roads. Anytime the state says here, it's free, it's never free. So, okay, I'm done.
all right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried. That's it?
Your Honor, that's it for me.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Decker?
I have one item, Mayor, resolution number 2526-005, whereas Rick Szymanski has been continuously employed by the city from November 15th, 1993 through the end of the day on May 2nd, 2025, most recently occupying the position of Superintendent of Streets, whereas Rick Szymanski announced his intention to retire from employment effective on May 5th, 2025, and whereas the city is appreciative of a long and continued service provided by Rick Szymanski, and whereas it is in the best interest of the city to execute the attached separation agreement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Tazewell County, Illinois, that Section 1, the above recitals that are found to be true and correct. Section 2, the mayor is hereby authorized to execute the separation agreement with such changes as the mayor in his sole discretion may decide are in the best interest of the City of East Peoria. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-005 be adopted as presented.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus. This is one of those that are, I hate to say it this way, bittersweet. It's sweet for him, but Rick has been such a valued member of this community, and he's still a member of the community, but a member of our staff. Just does a great job, and he's become a really good friend, and appreciate all the time, enormous amount of effort, and it's kind of a joke between he and I, but I don't know, have some random question that I'd call him, and he'd answer, and it'd sound really quiet in the background. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm fishing," because whether he's on vacation or whatever, he would always answer his phone. And I would tell him, "Rick, don't answer the phone if you're on vacation," but that's just not him. He's one of the most dedicated people I've ever worked around. Just does a tremendous job. And he's already enjoying a life after working. He's been traveling a bit and spending more time with his family. I'm happy for him with that. But Rick will be around here. He does a lot of things in the community, and really happy for him.
Yeah, just like to echo, thank you for his 31 years of dedicated service. He made a point to let us all know he wants to go out with zero fanfare. That's the kind of person he is. But
Yes.
we did enjoy a nice lunch with him on his last day. So appreciate his service to our community. Any
Mayor, I
discussion?
passed that down already. I meant to go
You
through
did.
the numbers. You mind doing that?
Yep.
Just want to publicly thank Rick for his service. He's going to be missed. I always felt like when he's at a council meeting, we would get straight answers from him, and he would do his best to do it to serve the city. So he's going to be missed, and wish him good luck in retirement.
Yeah, if I could get my 2 bits in. I'm a small-time sewer and water contractor. I've been working in the communities in this area in East Peoria since I graduated in '75, so I've been around the block a little bit. And when Rick took his position, he was one of the few people in his position that he's never went back on his word with me. That's everything when you're in the middle of doing a job and somebody says yes or no, and you do it according to what they say, and you don't hear or get backlash the next day or the next month after the job's done. There are other people out there, but Rick is among the 3 men and women that I can think of that his word is his bond. And that means a lot to me.
Very good.
Yeah, I just wanted to wish Rick good luck too. In the short years that I've worked with him, I knew anytime a citizen might call me, and I can call on him and rely on him to take care of it, and he was always great about that. So good luck, Rick.
Yeah, thank you. Go ahead, Commissioner
Thank you,
Decker.
Mayor. We've started doing this, and I think it is good for the public to hear it and be I don't know, consistent with each employee. But Rick is retiring. He's going to be paid out 783.88 compensable hours, and that will be paid in 3 installments, each of $13,370.98 to a total of $40,112.94.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. Roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
That is all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Commissioner Sutherland?
I have
A lot of
5
on there.
items tonight.
Working overtime.
You guys better buckle up out there. Commissioner Sutherland's fixing to read some stuff here.
Earmuffs.
Probably going to spend some money.
Okay. Let's start out with number 1. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-003, hereto attached, a resolution approving lead service line replacement policy for the City of East Peoria be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-003 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
Okay. This has to do with lead service water lines. I don't think we're quite done trying to locate how many there are in East Peoria. Out of the nearly 6,000 homes in East Peoria, I believe that there are around 250 possibly involved with lead service water lines. Let me explain something to you. That there's testing ongoing, the houses that we've found, and there is nobody that's went over the lead limit, and which is very small and minuscule. And if they do go over, at that point, we would force them to change their water line, and also give them a purifier to help them along. These are houses located around the high school, at the bottom of Springfield Road, and I believe there are some toward Richland Farms. Not very many in Richland Farms, surprised me. And out of those possible 200-ish, we know that there are people out there that can't afford to replace their water lines. And so what the city has come up with to help get this moving along, because there's a drop-dead date coming up on us in a few years, which all of them have to be redone by forcing or whatever. We have come up with $50,000 to help people change their lead service water line from the meter up into their house. There is a $1,000 limit per person. You have to own the house, you have to live in the house, and you have to be in poverty. So somebody that's making good money would be on their own to pay. The average water line, and I'll get to that later, is $2,500 to $3,500 to replace in case it broke. So this is our way of saying, hey, we know that the EPA is pushing this, they're pushing us, and we're going to have to be pushing you. This is our way of helping people that are in financial straits to get a new line ran in time. Did I say everything right?
Yeah, you did. So this policy is something that the city, basically, we had to come up with some type of lead service line replacement policy. In 2021, the state passed what they call the Lead Service Line Replacement and Notification Act. Under that, part of what was required from the city as the public entity that provides water to our residents is we had to identify all the lead service lines within the city corporate limits, which is a little difficult because, quite honestly, you're relying on homeowners to answer a survey. And a lot of people, some fought us back saying that was an infringement of their rights and all this. It's something that's required by the IEPA. We don't have a choice. Make a long story short, we've come a long way. We've identified what we feel is the majority of the lead service lines that need to be replaced. So in the grand scheme of things, a town of 23,000 people, we have roughly 9,000 households. We've identified like 267 lines that need to be replaced. So in the grand scheme of things, thankfully it's small scale, but in reality, there's a public responsibility and a private responsibility. The public responsibility is the city's up to a certain point. The homeowners are then on the hook for replacing their lead service lines, which the deadline is the deadline. We didn't create it, the state did. That we all have to meet that deadline, is what we've done as a city, and this is very detailed. I don't want to go into all the details. We are going to publicly post this so everybody understands what this policy is. But it's what we've done is the city's allocated $50,000 to provide grants, and you have to meet, financially, you have to meet these requirements to be qualified for the grant. The grant basically will be per resident not to exceed $1,000. So I know the commissioner with his background, he can probably speak to an estimated cost of what they may be facing. But the policy lays out what those requirements are. So we're here to assist the city. It's first come, first served basis. Once that $50,000, that's what we've allocated in this fiscal year budget, is gone, then there will be no more grant monies on the city's end of it. We're still trying to advocate at the state and federal level for grant monies to help homeowners that maybe can't afford this to be within compliance. So I don't want people to think this is the end of the road. This is all we can do on our end, but we're still advocating for state and federal leaders to step up to the plate and provide additional monies.
Yeah, I would like to add a little bit that if you are concerned and you're watching this program and you're concerned whether you have a lead line or not, first off, nearly every lead line that I've ever found was put in before 1950. So your house has to be older than 1950, give or take. It was mostly predominantly used during the World War because of a lack of copper and stuff due to the war. But you can go look where the water line comes in your house. Hopefully you don't have a crawl space. Some people do, most people have a basement, but a lead line can come through the wall, it can come through the floor, and you can take a razor blade knife and scrape it off, and it will be like a lead sinker look. It'll have that color to it, and it will be kind of bright and shiny because of it won't be copper looking, and it won't be steel looking. You can tell steel from lead real easy, and a lot of times they have a bulge before the valve between the wall or the floor where it comes in at and the valve. There's a bulge. Now, I'm 68 years old, and I don't know why that bulge was ever put in there. The old timers are all gone that knew that reasoning. I think it had to do with frost, if you was to ask me. And the old valves used to have a drain poured on them. They don't do that anymore. So that's what you would look at. And if you have any questions, just call the water department in the city of East Peoria, and we'll send somebody out there, and we'll take a look at it for you and let you know whether you are or aren't. Okay? Even if you filled out the survey and you're thinking, oh, well, maybe I did it good, maybe I didn't do it right, just call us. We'll help.
Yeah, I like to say, if in doubt, give us a shout. We're here to help. So Any other discussion?
Mayor, my understanding is that whereas we can't physically force someone to change those out, but we will no longer be able to deliver water through those lead lines after that date. Is that correct?
I'm not sure how the law reads. I just know that they're pretty adamant that they have a deadline, and we thought this is a good way to incentivize people to move forward. I just want to let the public rest assured, the way we treat our water, it's not a public health hazard here in East Peoria, so we don't want to sound like doomsday. We're just trying to become compliant with the law and make sure that everybody that lives within corporate limits is compliant, so.
Commissioner Decker, that is the threat.
Yeah, and that's
That is the threat that the EPA is holding over our head, and that is, and you know, the negotiations keep going on and on and on, but they're saying, as of right now, that valve goes off.
Yeah, and that's the thing, this is not the city of East Peoria wanting to affect anyone negatively. Obviously, we want people to be healthy, but we also understand people's budgets and everything else. This is my understanding is that we will not be allowed to deliver the water through those lines after the date.
What is the date, Commissioner?
I don't know.
I honestly
It's
don't
like
know.
3
We'll have
years.
to look up the act.
It's like
We're-
3 years or 2 years
Yeah, we're
from now.
still a few years out.
It's moved so much. It's like they're playing a game, and they are.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
My next item tonight, sir, is be it resolved by this Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-001, hereto attached, a resolution approving Fourth Amendment to Master Services Agreement for water main installation service during 2025-2026 fiscal year be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-001 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
What this is the acronym is MSA, Master Service Agreement, that here construction has with the City of East Peoria. So if we get overwhelmed with our breaks, then they can help us. We have an hourly rate from them. And if we're busy and we have extra money for that fiscal year, we can turn them on and to fix or line a sewer line or to work on a water main issue with the City of East Peoria. As you know, that my goal since I've been sitting here is 10 to 14,000 feet a year of sewer pipe being relined or water main being installed new. And it's kind of hard to meet. That's why they probably didn't do anything before we started doing this, because this council's been great supporting me on this, and here was a big part of us getting started. So they not only set an example for I and Cord and our guys to say, hey, listen, this is how big the crew is, this is how many feet you can get done a day, this is how much it costs, and then we can compare that saying, hey, listen, we have this many people available, we have this much money available, let's do this on our own like we're doing right now. Okay?
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Okay, third, it resolved by the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that Resolution 2526-006, hereto attached, a resolution accepting and approving the proposal from Ameren, Illinois, for the city's one-half portion of Camp Street's pipe bridge repair project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-006 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
You know, we've been talking about this for a couple years,
Yeah.
and I thought the city moved slow. But this is our participation for the utilities crossing across the bridge on Camp Street, if I'm not mistaken. And we approved this project kind of like 2 or 2.5 years ago, I think.
Well, we've talked about it. So this is the bridge. If you were to cross camp on Spender over to Altorfer, it's that utility-looking ugly bridge that has pipes in the center of it that runs over Farm Creek. And so Cord has been talking about this for a number of years. And anyway, this is in partnership with Ameren, because Ameren, come to find out, Cord did his research, and both of us have responsibility for that. And that's where we're at today. We cover half of it, is what's in the resolution. Our portion of refinishing and repairing that is $112,462.42. Ameren leads the charge on it. We just cover half the cost to have that refinished. And I'm looking forward to it.
Are they changing the looks or just?
They refinish, and I don't know what that finish is on the outside of it that they redo.
So it's still going to be the ice for hanging?
Well, yeah, it's not going away.
Okay.
It's just going to be refinished.
Nowhere to hide it.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide. You can't get around that.
Okay.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
Okay, fourth. I'm going to apologize because I'm going to say their name wrong when I get to it. Be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-007 hereto attached, a resolution authorizing the payment of an invoice from Gasvada and Associates for the purchase of remote connection equipment in the amount of $24,937.91 be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-007 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
Well, I think everybody in the nation is aware that AT&T is changing and stepping out of all sorts of business stuff, and I believe that they stepped out of communicating for our, I believe this is our SCADA system?
Yeah, it's the remote lift
Yeah.
station, and, yeah.
And we live and die by that now. I mean, our guys go home at night and they can, if an alarm goes off, they can get on their laptop or their cell phone, and they can tell through the SCADA system what, where, when, and why, and is it an emergency, is it not an emergency? They can diagnose most everything from their house instead of having to come in and drive in and actually physically get in the hole or get into the building and start reading instruments and make a decision at that point. And so this is the company that's taken over for AT&T.
Correct, and this is, we monitor those 24 hours a day. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you, motion carried.
My last item, sir, and that is, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Peoria, Illinois, that resolution number 2526-009, hereto attached, a resolution approving contract for professional services with Maurer Stutz, Inc. for engineering construction observation services for Newman Drive Water Replacement Project be approved. Mr. Mayor, I move you that this resolution number 2526-009 be accepted on its first reading as read by its title and laid on the table for no less than 1 week for public inspection.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker.
It's self-evident that this is a proposal for them to oversee our job that we're doing ourselves up on Newman Drive. And I'm not a big fan of engineers, but they have their place, and I think that overseeing a job site like what we're doing right now is a perfect place for them right now, because it protects us, it protects our employees, and it protects the citizens that live up there for quality lines and water.
Very good. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. Motion carried.
I'm done, sir.
Very good, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner Mingus.
I have nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Very good, sir. All right, now's the time for public. Anyone wish to address the council on a non-agenda item or agenda item? Anybody wish to step forward?
Hello, sirs. My name is Greg Johns. I live on Quiet Creek Drive. The proposed building that's I guess his zoning is being renewed, has issues with me because we are not on city water. We have a well. And I have concerns that anything that gets built down in that valley is going to affect my aquifer. And I don't know that there's any plan in his arrangement to look at that or decide whether he's going to have any effect on my water, and it worries me.
So did you speak up? Ty, is he the gentleman that spoke up? Do you know?
Earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't at the meeting. I
At the
reviewed the
meeting.
notes, but yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Johns, I spoke to him prior to the meeting too.
And you shared those same concerns at that time, or no?
I did at the zoning. I also
Okay.
have concerns about traffic from the expansion of buildings into that valley
Yeah.
on basically my driveway. I mean, Quiet Creek is a public road, but it used to be just my driveway until they put the townhouses in.
Yeah. I can't speak to, I don't know where they're sourcing their water. Are they sourcing it off city water?
There is city water available. There's a
Correct.
hydrant down by the townhouses there,
Okay.
but I'm not on it.
I understand you're not, sir, but if the city's providing them water, they're not gonna be sourcing water off your property. That comes,
It isn't the source in the water. My concern is that when he constructs down in the valley, it's gonna affect the aquifer.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
Too small of a project.
Okay.
That's not how it works.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, sirs.
all right. Thank you for sharing your concerns. Anyone else wish to address the council? No? All right, seeing no one else, very good. Comments from the council, Commissioner Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. The one thing I'd like to say tonight is I've gone to a lot of the honor flights, and this one, obviously, I'm not on. It's there today. But anybody watching now, I'd encourage them, if available, to meet the veterans as they return home tonight at the General Wayne A. Downing Airport. It starts at 9:30 is when they expect them to be back. But if you would like to attend, they're asking that there are shuttles that are meeting at SEFCU at 8 o'clock. Might make it quite a bit easier to make it over there, and you wouldn't have to walk so far from the parking lot. But it really is a great event. The whole day is great. The veterans certainly deserve it. They deserve the recognition and the honor that they didn't get a long time ago. And it's such a good thing to be a part of. And I've said this many times, that when you start out the morning with the veterans, you know, a lot of them are old, tough, hard people. They've seen a lot. And throughout the day, the emotions that come because of just being able to go there and see the monuments that were erected because of work that they did. And it's a debt that we owe them, if nothing else, to be respectful for the service that they provided and the sacrifice they gave. So if you're available tonight, I can't remember the dates of the other ones coming up later this year. I believe there are 2 more after tonight, but if you are available, 9:30 p.m. is when they're expected to be at the airport.
Well said, Commissioner. Thank you. Anything else?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Hill?
Somehow I forgot or missed the flower sale.
Yes, it was duly noted you weren't there.
Yes, but.
By a lot of people, by the way,
reason I
not just me.
brought it up was they had advertised on Facebook that the extra flowers that were up at Eastside, do you know if they still have them? Have you heard?
That I don't know.
Okay. So, well, if you're interested in flowers, call Eastside, bother them. That's where they were storing the leftover flowers a few days ago. So, with that being said, the only other thing, the most important thing, I want everybody to remember, the farmers market's coming. Start up June 1st. We've got a lot of many new vendors already expressing interest, and so we've got plenty of room for any more. So if you're interested, the early bird registration discount ends at the end of the month, end of May. So I guess I should tell you that the application is now online. Go out to the city site. If it's difficult to find, then you can shoot me an email or Ty, offer up him. But to find the application's online, so it comes in automatically. We can see it, and we go from there. So I'm looking forward to getting some new vendors. We got some musicians lined up, so looks to be a good start in June.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Sutherland? Oh, boy.
I
He's
got
a novel,
I got a
folks.
couple things.
Yeah.
Work has started on Dooman Drive water main replacement. It seems like it's going fine so far. There's going to be a lot of potholing done by us. It'll be in people's front yards, but it's on the right-of-way for the utilities, which means we'll put it back together when we're done. The hole will be there for a few days as we're boring the line through to help not have to replace everybody's driveways, because they're all in great shape, by the way, up there. So don't step in them. Don't twist an ankle. Don't get hurt. Just stay away. This is a subject that's kind of pisses me off. It's a sore subject. I've been doing this. I said earlier in the meeting what I do for a living, and your honor, your handshake, your word is everything. I cannot remember only 2 or 3 contracts I've ever signed in my life to do a job for a person or a business, ever. And I've been doing this for the better part of 50 years now. There are companies out there that are not so honorable. They are charging, for instance, a $200 clean out of your sewer. Instead of being charged $200, it depends a little bit. It has a they're charging $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500. They are milking people for everything that they think that they can get. Beware. Know your prices. I'm going to give you 4 examples of prices that I feel are fair. The average sewer cleaning, which some companies even include cameraing while they're there, is $200, give or take, okay? The average sewer line replacement is about $6,500. That goes from the front of your house to as close to the street as you can get, no more than 10.5 feet deep, and it gives you a clean out front. They've been charging people $20,000, $25,000. This has gone crazy. People are signing up, crying because their sewer's plugged up, and the people are standing there at the table with a pen and pencil to sign loans for people that don't have the money to come up with it. The average water line is $1,200 to $1,500 to fix a patch, and I don't fix patches. I feel unless you didn't dig it up with a backhoe, or you didn't dig a hole through it with a shovel, which are 4 feet deep, that means if you have a water line that needs a patch and you're gonna spend $1,200 to $1,500, replace the water line. Because it's come to the end of its life. If you fix that hole, another one's gonna break 10 feet, 2 feet, 20 feet away, and you're gonna continue this project. Because my fourth example is a new water line replacement. The average cost in East Peoria to go from your house out to the meter is $2,500 to $3,500. So when they come up and they say it's gonna be $9,000 or it's gonna be $12,000, run, okay? It's been happening right now. That is why I have brought this subject up, and I'm gonna keep bringing it up again and again and again until people out there understand, or the people that are doing this get thrown in jail. One or the other is gonna happen before I shut my mouth. The last thing I have to say is, I know this, I made a mistake last meeting, okay? I said that Mr. McCluggage helped bring Caterpillar to Peoria. Yeah, I got the wrong bridge. It was Murray Baker. Murray Baker helped bring Caterpillar to Peoria, and I did my research because I wasn't for sure. And I went home and I said, well, Mike, you opened your mouth again before you really thought it through. But Mr. McCluggage was one of the first Peoria mayors in the city of Peoria, if not the first. So that's why that bridge is named after him. I'm done.
I am just super proud of you for correcting yourself before it got to me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I kind of figured that was going to happen.
Commissioner Mays.
I only have one item tonight, Your Honor. It's EMS month. We did the proclamation. One of the services of our fire department is to do car seat checks. We'll have those, or car seat installations also. We'll have those tomorrow at Central House from 1 to 4.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. So Commissioner Hill touched on clean sweep. I just personally want to thank all those folks that show up for that. We do it annually. We had a great turnout. There were a couple big church groups that didn't start at the festival. They went out and hit their areas that they volunteered to clean up trash for. But in staff this morning, Brett, who's the superintendent over streets, the city goes around and collects the bags, and he couldn't believe the volume of trash that was picked up, and greatly appreciate it. And I know we enjoyed, volunteering with people every year, and picked up a couple extra bags for my counterpart who missed out Saturday. People kept asking me where he's at. That's the first one I think he's missed, but yeah, in all seriousness, I appreciate those that showed up and really care. And plus the East Peoria Beautification Commission, they do a phenomenal job. That's all volunteer. These people put their heart and soul in it, not just with the flower sale, but the clean sweep as well. They organize all that. So I want to give them a big shout out. Did a great job. And then last but not least, as I sit here, the two youngest children, Genevieve and Evan, they're high school seniors this year. They're at awards banquet. They're recipients of the Sterling Merit Award. So I just want to give them a special shout out, along with all the students from all the high schools that are being recognized tonight. That's a big deal for those folks that work hard through 4 years of high school and achieve that. But super proud dad here, so just want to give them a little shout out. And that's it. With that, I'd seek a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I move you that we adjourn until Tuesday evening, May 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Decker. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioner Decker?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Mingus?
Aye.
Sutherland?
Aye.
Mayor Call?
Aye.
All present voting, aye, Your Honor.
Thank you. We're adjourned until we meet again.